send this to you guys afterwards so that you guys can go back and check it. But so here's the deal. Like the way I like to do team VOD reviews is obviously we have a lot to cover, but I do want to make sure that I have a good general vibe of like what you guys are and what you hope to get out of the session. So why don't you just like introduce yourselves if you don't mind, just like your name and how you pronounce your name would probably be the better help, and then what heroes you play, what role you main, or like whatever basic stuff.
I go first.
Yeah, we just go top to bottom.
Sure.
Okay. Am I talking over your mic?
Spiley, can you hear him or not?
Yeah, I can. If he screams like a little girl, I can.
Yeah, just use your mic, but just mute it when you're not using it, because otherwise you're gonna hear the bathroom and everything.
Okay. Does this sound better?
Yeah, it's fun. It doesn't sound better, but it sounds.
Okay. I'll try my best here. Okay. I'm Big J5 or John.
Okay.
I am a flex DPS player, and I play Tracer, Echo, Genji.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Righto. Okay. Sounds good. Big J. Okay.
Alrighty. I am Kuda, also known as Jake, also known as Waluigi. I'm the main support, but I only play Brig and Lucio.
Okay. Welcome to jail. Okay. Who's next?
Hi, I'm Allie or Momo or Peach. I used to be a tank player, and now I'm learning Lucio while playing Mercy.
Nice. Okay.
Hi, I'm Alden or Quibsy or Shy Guy in game. I play main tank. I used to play main support. I used to one-trick Lucio, but now I play my best tanks I'd probably say are Wrecking Ball, Reinhardt, and Winston.
Okay, and then Zach.
Yeah, I'm the guy who shoots the tanks.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. And I assume you guys have a DPS player that's not going to be here.
Yeah, our hit scan is he has food poisoning, so.
Oh, okay. That's annoying. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So we have Flex DPS, Brig Lucio Specialist, main support like Mercy Specialist, kind of Mercy Lucio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the tank. What do you specialize in again, Quibsy? I missed.
I play any tanks.
Yeah.
But I'm best at like Reinhardt, Wrecking Ball.
Right.
Probably.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So then, what's the average SR of y'all's college?
It's like our average is probably 4K. We have a range from like mid diamond up to like 4.4, 4.5.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good. So then the real question is just like, I mean, you know this from the forums, Zach. Like, what do you guys hope to get out of the session? What are some questions you'd like to answer? Would you guys like to go over?
We've had like reoccurring issues. I mean, we've been a team for about like a year and a half now, and we've
everybody
had
together or like interchanging people in and out.
Yeah, everybody together.
Wow, okay.
We had a different hit scan last year that none of us like and is a horrible person, so we don't worry about that anymore.
Okay.
But anyway, like we've all known each other for a while, but we've had very like reoccurring issues that we've been trying to solve for like a year and a half through a coach, through us, and it's just it hasn't happened. We've slowly gotten better.
Yeah.
I think like communication, target priority, and just overall like everybody focusing on the same thing, engaging at the same time. I think that just has become a big issue. But the main reason that I wanted us to do the VOD was we have a qualifier on Saturday. It's the first round of a big national championship qualifier. Yeah. And if we make it through that, we go to round 2. If we make it through that, we get to go to Texas. So that's kind of the goal right now.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. Here's the thing with team play. So especially when we're talking about collegiate, the really troublesome thing with collegiate is the fact that, I mean, quite honestly, not everybody is always on the same level of motivation, but you guys are stuck with each other. And I know that sounds like a little bit harsh to say like from the get-go, but it's just the absolute truth. And that's not necessarily a bad thing either. Like if you put me, like if my mom signed me up for the high school chess team right now, like listen, I respect chess as much as anybody, but I'd probably put in at about the bare minimum, you know what I'm saying? And my teammates would probably hate my guts, but I'm sorry, like I'm not that interested in chess. And that's probably, some of you guys are either like that to an extent with Overwatch, or you love Overwatch, you just don't love necessarily being competitive about it, like sweating like crazy all the time. So where are you guys at in terms of the sweat factor for like, let's just say the last month? Where has everybody been? How often do you guys scrim? How seriously do you guys VOD review and so on?
Yeah, we scrim about 2 to 3 times a week, and then we have games usually 2 days a week. One's a doubleheader, and then one's a single.
Okay.
And then in terms of sweat, I think me, Quibsy, and Big J, we are pretty sweaty and we put a lot of work in and we grind the most.
Yep.
But I think also, like, I mean, Kuda's been picking it up and he started carrying more. Ali basically does whatever we ask of her, and she's willing to put the work in. So, I mean, I think we're all competitive and we all want to win and we all have that fire. But I think the issue is, like, the 2 tournaments that we're in, we don't really have teams that, like, push us. Like, our Great Lakes Conference, there's really only one other team that's decent. Our Northeastern Conference, like, it's very hit or miss. It just depends on the season. So we really don't have teams that are seriously pushing us to get better.
This is outside of scrims. These are like the 2 a week games, yeah?
Yeah. And then when it comes to scrims, it depends on the meta. Like, for example, we're playing ball comp right now, and we've won like a couple titles with that, and it's by far our best comp. And we can scrim like 4-2, 4-3.
If you don't mind me interrupting.
I think Zen's my best hero, Ball's Alden's best hero, Tracer's like one of John's best heroes, and it just...
We also like only played that comp for the second half of this semester last year and fought it a ton, so we have a lot of practice on it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of our OTP. But then, like, with the RAM meta, for example, last season, or excuse me, season 2.
Yeah.
We scrimmed like 3-7, 3-8, and we were kind of struggling. So.
Okay.
It's just, yeah.
Well, why do you think that is? Like, I know I asked about, like, why did you think you succeeded with Ball? Okay, it lines up with hero strengths, lines up with the amount of time that we put in. Now we're on Ramantra. What's the issue?
I mean, personally, I think it's mostly me, to be honest.
Okay.
I didn't play a ton of Ramantra at the time.
Okay.
Part of something we do with our team a little bit is, like, switching who plays tank.
Yeah.
Because I also play main support, so the first half of Overwatch 2 I was playing main support.
Yeah.
So then I didn't play any tank for the first part in Overwatch 2, but then I just started picking up it again. Like right before the Ramantra meta, I think.
So you just started to pick up tank then?
Like pick it back up.
No, that implies a departure. I don't want to go into details individually, but why did you put it down?
Well, just for a team. Like I started out as a main support player. That's what I was gonna do for the team.
Yeah.
And then we decided we needed a main tank, and I was like, oh, I'll just learn that. So I learned main tank, and then I was playing that for a bit. And in Overwatch 2, we thought maybe I could move back to main support.
Right.
Which it worked for a while, but then I wanted to go back to main tank.
Okay. So it's like the collegiate shuffle, you know, based off of the teammates. Yeah, I got you. You're not the first time I've worked with the deals with that. Okay, so like, first things first, kind of going back to what we talked about. I think one of the big causes of frustration in team play, and this is not exclusive to Overwatch by any means, is when there is a gap or discrepancy between expectations and reality. And that sounds like a little bit corny, but if you think about it, like right now, like you have a few players in this lobby that are mid to high diamond, right? And that's good, but in comparison of where we have somebody like Zach, who's definitely in the upper echelons, that's just not great. That's a massive, massive gap in terms of individual skill. In addition to that, you guys are only scrimming a few times a week, and right now the region that you're in is just not super competitive. So all that being said, you guys are not going to make OWL, not as a team, okay? That being said, when you guys are training, it can and should be a fun exercise, and I think the goal should be, what is the furthest that we could go with the group that we have right now? Let's put it that way. What's the highest that we can punch? Like, if you guys are on ball comp, okay, scrimming the exact same amount, VOD reviewing the exact same amount, putting the exact same amount of effort in, where are you guys scrimming SR-wise, approximately?
We can do like 4-2, 4-3.
Okay, so then it's unrealistic for us to be able to get that with where we're at right now. Like, let's say that we're going to go for a Ramantra meta or a Winston meta or something like that. We're not going to be able to get there right now, but that should be our goal, right? Is let's try and get to a GM competitive level with the team that we have right now. Does everyone agree that that's like reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to be beating other like contenders teams to tier 3 teams or 4-4 teams in scrims, but if we could scrim comfortably at around a GM level on most metas, we've done a pretty good job. So what we need to do is not necessarily raise our ceiling, although that would be great. What we need to do is to try and remove the worst case scenario. And that means that we need to find out like where our weak points are. So obviously right now, we're not really sure exactly what the meta is. However, I assume you guys have a couple of compositions or a couple of replay codes, a couple of VODs or whatever that you guys want to take a look at. Yeah?
Yeah, we have a ball one and then I think a Rhine one.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. I have a question for you guys. When you guys were playing Ramatra meta, bit of an odd question, but why? If you're so bad at it, why?
I don't know. I think there's just nothing else that.
Well, actually, when it was like Ramatra meta, we were kind of playing Hog and Orisa.
And how is that going?
Better than a Ramatra, I think.
Like, give me a ballpark here. Like, are we talking like, okay, we're scrimming GM even, or we're still like struggling in 3-8 lobbies, but we're doing better?
I think. I don't know. It kind of depended because like it was weird because the one scrim that we did have, it was like 4-3, and we played like Winston and Orisa, and we did really really well. I think we were maybe just like on point that day.
With what were you on point on?
Just overall, like I said, we were playing like Orisa and Monkey, and I thought that we played pretty well. Okay. And then, but I'd say for the most part, probably like 4K ish. Okay. I think we could do.
Okay. So then, again, the question comes down to why Ramatra. Zach, you sounded like you felt like that was just not really a negotiable option at that point in the meta.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, like, for example, there were comps, I mean, like we just said, like Orisa and Hog that would work. But I think our issue was if we were in a situation where they weren't working and we were forced to mirror, like we just weren't winning the matchup and we were forced to mirror, we just couldn't win the mirror because like we weren't good enough at that comp. And we had a few instances, like we had a placement match that we lost because we were doing really well, and then they locked the Ramatra comp, and we just couldn't figure out how to beat it, and then we just forced ourselves to mirror because that's all we felt like we could do, and we just lost.
Okay.
So just situations like that.
I mean, that's kind of a meta slave mentality. I understand like when something's not working, but then trying to mirror somebody in the composition that they have like 10 times the amount of hours at. I think that's almost like a psychological coping mechanism. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but that's what it feels like to me. You know, to where it's like, okay, we might as well just try that, but like really, truly, how is that going to work? I mean, if that's okay, if that's all else that fails, but that's not like exactly a precedent that you want to set, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, how is that going to be a long-term solution? Is we try what we play, and if it doesn't work, we play the comp that they're playing, that they have more hours on, and that doesn't line up with their hero strength. So I guess my question would be like, if something's not working, I'm not saying continue to slam your head up against the wall over and over and over again, but I would definitely consider trying something that's at least something unorthodox that might throw them for a loop rather than trying to mirror them, because that's like guaranteeing the L. You know what I'm saying? I mean, have you ever been able to whip out the Ramatra comp and made it work? I'm sure it must have happened before. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
so when did it happen?
I don't remember specifically. I just know we were getting better with the comp as time went on.
Yeah.
Especially as like I got to play him more.
Sure.
Yeah, towards the end of the meta is when we started getting decent, and then they swapped it. So, but I mean, not that we're complaining now. Like I'm kind of glad it swapped.
Sure. I guess all this being said is I'm not really giving you guys any clear guidelines when it comes to stuff like this, but I guess this point is like the conversation that we're having right now. You guys as 6 need to be having like every single time a meta swap or a compositional adjustment or something feels bad or something feels really good, because it's not a science when it comes to picking compositions or counter swapping. It's not a science in Overwatch League. It's not a science in the best teams in Overwatch League. I mean, a lot of what happens is people play to their strengths, and then some are meta slaves, some aren't. Some like to kind of try and break the mold. Some set the tempo. Like Dallas, whenever Lucio was strong, generally was the one that figured out the best composition, and people were scared to try anything else just because Dallas was generally better at it. I remember there was a lot of really crappy Overwatch League teams the last season that just did nothing but meta slave. You guys remember Vancouver Titans Stage 1. Let's put Fall Sun Winston. You know what I'm saying? Really, do you really think that that's going to work? Like, do you really think? And no offense to Paris Eternal, same kind of crap, right? Especially in the first half of the season. Let's just brain dead mirror. But you're the Paris Eternal. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. There's this obsession that like, oh, we have to be better than them. You're not going to be better than them. And that's especially going for you guys as well. Like be honest with you guys. You're not the best players in the world. You're just not.
Yeah.
You're 4K average on even. Okay? So you're going to need to play to your strengths. And then if something goes crappy, you're going to need to know the line where we fight dirty. So I'm not saying don't play Ramacha, don't play meta, but if meta really doesn't feel good and isn't responding to the improvement efforts that you guys are putting in, it might just be time to consider something else. The first team I ever coached was like this mid Masters team, and we were spanking 4-3 teams in Goats meta on Briggs and Cassidy. We had like this goofy protected McCree comp was what it was called back in the day, and we were smoking folks with it. So like all that being said is like, eventually would we have had to play Goats? Yeah, probably eventually, but we haven't had a composition like that in a long time. You know what I'm saying? There's so much nuance, especially at your SR. So just know where the line is. Play meta because meta is strong. But if the meta isn't working with your strengths, it's just not worth sweating tears over it. You know what I'm saying? Find an alternative or find your own variation or find your own flavor. And I can't in an hour and a half or whatever be able to tell you guys what that is. You guys are gonna have to go be able to find that out on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like your success as a team when it comes to strategy is going to come down to how you do that. That's at least 25-30% of your success as a team right there. Every team I've coached has struggled with this conversation. So okay. Oh, by the way, I can't stream in this channel, so I might need perms.
Oh, here, we can. I don't think I can give you any perms that give you that, so we can just go to general voice and you can do it.
Let's hop over.
Just go to that.
Yeah, I'm good here. Okay. So that answers my like. I hope that kind of answers your question, if not raising more questions on y'all's end. But like I said, I really encourage you guys to figure that stuff out whenever it happens. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's never going to ever be a science. Like I said, it's going to be an art. You're going to get some stuff right. You're going to get some stuff wrong. But really, really don't force yourself to play a comp just because you don't like it. Now, as you guys were saying, you were getting better at it. But you obviously have to kind of decide like how fast you're going to be able to get better at this. Do we want to spend time? Maybe you guys are like, we're not good at this comp, but at some point we're going to have to learn a Lucio speed comp, guys. Like we really should do this. So we don't really have a really important tournament at this stage. So let's just devote this month to just losing to diamond teams and like actually learning how to play this comp. That's also a very reasonable decision. But again, that's something you guys need to be making as a team. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I guess the real question is just what do you guys hope to get out of the session? We talked a little bit about how like you feel like you're not always on the same page. You needed a little bit of help with the Ramatra comp, maybe not. Like what do you hope to get out of the session? And I want preferably not just Zach and Quibsy answering it. Anybody else in this call?
I don't know. I guess for me, it's more figuring out the macro of like the different types of comps. Because for me as a player, I mainly know how to like focus on myself.
Yeah.
But like if I try to play like off rolls and all that other stuff, I can't like figure out how the comp as a whole is played, and I could just figure out how to make figure out my own mistakes and work from there instead of like as a team as a whole.
So really quick, so when you're playing off rolling, you're saying like flex DPS heroes that you don't have as much time in?
That and just like sometimes going to hit scan or just like playing other roles, trying to understand like different perspectives on how that game or like comp is played.
Sure. Keep going, sorry.
So, because like one thing I know I struggled with is timing and aggression, because let's say me and Quibsy are playing. This is why we're good at ball comp, because me and Quibsy could just go back and forth. I could tell him, hey, I'm going on this guy, and he's able to follow up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, with like rush comp or whatever, it's not like the same thing because I don't have that like high mobility on Tracer or whatever. I can't like be super aggro and like get away with it for the most part.
Right.
Because for Ram comps, I forgot who I played. Who did I play in Ram comp? I forgot who I played, but Tracer and Genji. Well, I would still like over aggress because I don't have that ball to like tank it for me. Rush is like a different timing and tempo compared to like ball comp.
Sure, I got you. Okay, well, we'll definitely be looking at timing in this VOD. Anything else, guys?
Yeah. So, you go ahead. You go first.
No, you go.
Okay, so when I'm playing Lucio into whether it be Ram comps, Ryan, or Winston, you know, I know my main focus is, you know, speed my tank in, speed him out whenever, like, you know, their ram shifts. He's really fast. I'm gonna speed him out of that. I kind of autopilot, like, just focus on that when I know there's so many more things I could be doing. I just like focus on my main tank and just shoot.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Well, let me ask you a question though. This is something probably relevant for everybody in here. When you're focusing on something like that and you're autopiloting on something like basically an autopiloting everything else, do you think that you should be focusing on like juggling more than just that one thing? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying I have to. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes I could.
Okay.
That could be a lot more beneficial.
Okay. Do you think it's a lack of effort, a lack of focus, a lack of ability? Like, why do you think you're struggling with that?
Oh, you know, sometimes if I'm tired, it could be focused, but other than that, not really.
Okay. Yeah. I to be honest with you, I think like especially if it's something important or mechanically difficult, which it might be, I don't think it's unusual for you to be struggling to juggle that many things. So I wouldn't worry about it. The real question is about creating. I mean, Zach knows about this because he's VOD reviewed with me recently. Is knowing about the low hanging fruit, the hierarchy, right? So if you ask yourself, is me getting that speed, tempo, whatever, is that the most important thing that I could be working on right now? You know, the answer is yes, then keep going. Don't worry about the autopilot. If the answer is no, then you're working on the wrong thing. Do you kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you've got other mistakes and other things that you have to be learning, that you just need more time and you just need more reps on the hero. It's not a question of like a lack of focus necessarily. Anything else, guys? Quibsy?
Yeah, for me, I'm kind of the main shot caller and the main tank.
Sure.
So a lot of like more either guiding my team or playing around them.
Yeah.
Especially on more like brawl comps and stuff, because with ball comp, it's pretty easy to set the tempo and like look around, see where my chaser's at, see where my backline is, and like slam someone, get out. But with the Rhine comp, it's harder to like call besides can you wall corner, amp speed, 3, 2, 1, go or something. But besides that,
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying. It's like more one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, we'll talk about then. Zach, anything?
No, I think just like macro understanding as a whole and learning how to play together. Because I mean, we have very good individual skill. Like for example, John like has very very good mechanics, but like he said, I think his main struggle because he this was his introduction to team play. Like basically, like before college, he didn't really play on any teams.
Yeah.
Besides like one diamond one that I actually met him in. But it was just like the macro understanding because like you can have great mechanics, but when you go to like team play, like it can't necessarily carry you. Like you need to really be able to be on the same page and really understand the compositions and the strengths and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of where we struggle.
Right.
I think we usually just kind of win because we're just higher SR or we have better mechanics, not necessarily that our understanding is always better.
Okay. But you guys have been playing for a year and a half though.
Yeah.
So you guys are still struggling with like the timing, the communication, the synergy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's gotten better, but I think we were just, I mean, because we have a coach that works with us a lot too, and he was trying to nail it into our heads for so long, and for some reason, like it wasn't working. Like we've just had the same issues. I think with it now 5v5, it's gotten easier than it was in Overwatch 1, but I still don't think it's perfect.
Here's a question for you. What was hammered into your heads when you guys were like when he was working with you guys? What were you guys trying to work on?
I think the biggest thing was probably like communication, like having everybody talk to each other. I think that's been a big issue is like me and Alden will talk and that's about it.
Okay. Who's Alden?
That's kind of where that stays. That's Quibsy. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. That's right. I knew the name sounded familiar. Okay. Okay, so Quibsy and well then why aren't more people talking? Did we ever figure that out? Did we ever like ask?
I mean they can speak for themselves, but
I think they can. Why don't you stop?
Yeah.
I think I got discredited.
Oh yeah, Jacob does talk. For me, what it comes down to is just because I think for me it's like the lack of understanding. Plus, I'm not really good at like shot calling or like fight planning, all this and that. For my like main communication, it's just I feel like for me it's just the talk like, hey, I'm gonna go in, or like, hey, I plan to tire this and that. Sure. And even then, sometimes I'm more focused on my own gameplay that I just forget to talk.
Sure. So here, let me tie this conversation around. Okay, so Zach, you heard what he said, right? So So when you say he's not calling, what is John not calling that you think needs to be called by him?
I can give you a lot of examples. Like he'll go on a flank and be behind their team, and Alden will have to call it for him, or John will just randomly ult and not say anything, and then it's just completely wasted because we don't combo. Like I think the main thing is when he just goes on flanks or he ults. Like those are the two main things, and he just doesn't say anything.
Okay.
And then if like me or Alden don't pick up on it and tell the team, then it just yeah.
So that's something very specific though, right? So have you talked with John specifically about that specific type of communication and made that a priority and talked about that with the team?
At least a couple 100,000 times.
All right, John, the ball's back in your court. The pressure's on. What's the deal?
Okay. I don't know. I don't want to like make this sound like an excuse, but like, for me, I feel like, since like, let's say like there, our coaches said before, there's like 3 pillars, right?
Yeah.
I'm a pillar, Alden's a pillar, Quibsy's a pillar, and Zach's a pillar.
Yeah.
Since we're the 3 highest like players, and like for me, I feel like it's more like my court to like make plays and all this and that.
Right.
Like I'm more like a playmaker and all this and that.
Sure.
So when I see like an opportunity, like when I'm going on flanks, it's more like on the spot type thing.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I was playing this before. Like I like the same thing with alts. I see an opportunity, I just like I don't call it before the fight, but if I see an opportunity, I'm just gonna go look for it and see what happens. Right.
It's very instinctual, just in the moment. You don't think about it ahead of time. Okay, ball's back in your court, Zach. Do you need John to prepare for you 10 seconds, 5 seconds, even pre-fight, or you just need him to call it in the moment?
No, I think just like talking on the go. What were you saying, Alden?
I just want to add something because I feel like John he makes those big plays a lot, but like he can make better plays with the team or something. Like instead of killing 2 and then dying after, he can kill 2 and live or something like that. Like he does do good with it sometimes, but it can be better with just like a little bit of talking or something like that.
Which that actually ties into something that I don't mean to cut you off, but I think this is kind of like a major point, is there is so much frustration that happens within our team. And this is, I think, the main issue that we've had for the last year and a half is if we're not talking to each other, I'm not pointing fingers because we all get frustrated, but I think John is kind of known for that on our team, to where if he gets frustrated, it's just over. Like it's just over and we just tilt. And we'll end up like yelling at each other because we're asking like, why did you not talk about this? And then we just go back and forth and everybody gets frustrated and then just no one talks. Like I think that has consistently happened like since the start of our team. Like it's communication issues, people getting frustrated, and then we all get off the same page and the rest of the series is just shot.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. When it becomes a yelling match, obviously, that implies that there's something going on both sides. So let me try and guess if I get this correctly. So something happens, John makes a play, doesn't work out. There's some frustration at the lack of communication. John continues to shut down, and then things on maybe Quibsy or Zach, you're going to get more and more and more heated as you're getting more and more frustrated.
Yeah, I think everybody just kind of gets frustrated, annoyed, tilted. And then, I think one thing me and Alden have gotten good at is like, even if me and him fight and like we'll argue like about plays, like if we have a disagreement, we'll argue about it, but then like we'll just talk about it after the game. But I think in other circumstances that doesn't happen. Like we just fight in the middle of the game and that's it. Like we can't put it aside.
Well, you're failing your team when you do that.
Yeah.
And I know that's like human nature is to try and go for that, but you're failing your team. It's like the whole he started it, she started it kind of thing, and you know that. But here's my problem for you. I'm not expecting like you as like Zach. Are you team captain here? Are you the highest rank? Like, was there any sort of hierarchy whatsoever in here whatsoever?
I think just me and Alden. I mean, I'm the captain.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll leave that right there. You and Alden are failing like miserably when you do that. You need to know that. Because it doesn't really matter like what's starting that situation. Your job is to like help fix issues. And I understand that like if this is consistently an issue, but like you don't make it better. You make it miserable for everybody here. The marks of a true leader is when something goes really wrong and it's not removed. Like let's say John is just unredeemable. It sounds weird for me to say this in the voice call when he's right there, but it's totally unredeemable. Waste of space. We'll never get better. We'll never listen. Right? What a moron. What a total loser. You guys a jerk. Can't wait till he's gone. Right? Okay. Now let me ask you a question. How do you deal with that situation?
I think not beating a dead horse is probably a good thing.
Right. The horse is dead. Okay. Let it go. Let's make it pleasant for everybody else. All you do by doing that is you make yourself miserable, and you make everybody else in the call, everybody else in the scrim miserable, and you play worse as a result. It's remember what we talked about where there's a lot of frustration that comes from the expectations that differ from reality, right? That's where the frustration comes in. And if John is really going, there's two options here. Either you guys are going to improve, not just John, right? But everybody is going to have goals and things to improve on. You guys are improve, okay? Or you're not. And either way, your expectations need to match that. If it seems like, okay, it doesn't matter what we do, we're putting the thing and it's not working and we're just doing this, the worst thing you could do about that point is to get frustrated or tilted at it. Because by then you're putting expectations where there just isn't anything to come out. You're trying to get milk out of a pumpkin. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work like that. So, John, you're hearing this, right? And you hear how everybody has these crazy high expectations of you because they know that you could be a great player. Like, oh, you're so good mechanically. If we could just have you just to talk, and do you notice how nobody in here is asking you to be a shot caller? You put that word out, but nobody else has said that word. They just want you to call when you're doing something like that so that they can help. If you go in your instincts and your call is to let out a blood-curdling scream and everybody knows what that means, oh, it's a John play, guys. We know what that sounds like, right? That's fine. That's fine. That's what we need. Even if you just said go and and we just start running from spawn, like, go guys, we're going. That would okay. I'm not going to speak for your team. Quibsy, Zach, is that what you guys want?
Yeah, like
it'd be better.
To give an example, I did that one of our last games. I'm getting in, help me, right?
Yeah,
something like that. It's a crazy play that I'm doing, but my team knows what I'm doing.
Okay.
So
and here's something else
like that.
Does John ever call when he does things like that? Ever?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. He gets better if I really milk it out of him.
That's what I'm saying. Do you ever like? Not to be corny here, but do you ever nice job? Do we ever have any positive reinforcement there, whatsoever? I mean, you guys are captains, right? The highest ranked players in the team.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying, because the reason why I do that is I benefit from positive reinforcement. I'm as stupid as them all. Like when I do a coaching session with somebody and somebody sends me a message or leaves a review and says oh, I really appreciated how you did X and you were very communicative and really good listener. Do you know what my stupid monkey brain does? I remember that, man. I remember that for the entire week, and I'm always I'm really trying to listen really good the rest of the week because I know somebody complimented me on that, so I'm trying to do it better. And I coach this, and I can feel it work. I can't help it. It works on me. I can't help it. It's magic, you know. And yeah. I mean, that's you guys just have more responsibility now, John. Your team has these expectations of you. You know, you're smart. You're a good player. You're mechanically strong. Your team needs you to be able to step up like that. And again, I don't think Alden or Zach are expecting perfection either. I think it's just we want to see an improvement, right? We want to see progress. But I also think you owe that to yourself as well. I don't know what your goals are in game, but I think doing the bare minimum for teammates that are sweating their butts off, I think that's a pretty good bare minimum life skill to make sure that you're able to perform. And I get what you're saying about instinctual, and I want you to lean into that. Your team should lean into that. But it needs to be what's the bare minimum? What is the absolute most important thing that I could be doing? And I think that has to be it right there. And I don't know how you guys want to enforce that, how you guys want to prioritize that, how you guys want to work on that. But to me, I would go as far as saying if this is as big of an issue as you guys are putting it, I think the world ends. Nothing is focused until no meta, no macro, no nothing until this issue is fixed. That's my thoughts anyway.
I have a question, and it's gonna sound really stupid, right?
That's okay.
But I'm trying to figure this out for myself personally.
I appreciate it.
How do you just not get tilted at the game?
Give me an example.
It's like a big issue of mine because the thing is, I'm trying my hardest to just play the game and all this and that, but I have to deal with all this all this crap, like on the like just unlucky crap that I had to deal with.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to deal with just like, okay, I have a bad, like I don't know how people just have that GG go next mentality or something like that, or just not get tilted whenever like something stupid happens to you when it shouldn't happen.
I mean, it's an art. It's a skill you have to develop over time. It's like how do I like learn how to do anything? You have to just apply yourself over and over and over and over to it. And if that's what causes you or prevents you from calling, then that needs to be a priority. So I don't know if that's going to be deep breaths for you. I don't know if that's going to be making sure that you're getting enough sleep. I don't know if that's going to be you putting your attention on something else other than just your raw gameplay and giving yourself attention to anything else. I don't know if it's being tilted and just going to have to power through it and just say go, go, go anyway. I don't know what the answer is. I don't have answers for you to not be tilted. I have some tips, I have some advice, but that I will put this as a priority, as a life skill that you need to start training. Because the thing is like, when you talk about like being tilted at something like this, that's not just an Overwatch like problem. I promise you. It's definitely probably brings the worst out of you because it's Overwatch, and Overwatch is Overwatch. However, you need to prioritize in solving this. Like whenever people come up to me and say like, I have a tilt problem, usually it's a problem that they're aware of, but there's not been like enough serious effort in actually trying to deal with it or fix it. Because if you were asking me, how do I deal with a tilt problem? You would already have spent enough time to know the answer to that question. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not a priority enough for you. And that's the problem right there. It's like when people ask me like, you know, how do we get out of this bronze as Winston? I'm like, well, if you got to ask the question, I don't have an answer for you, respectfully. So, okay. This is priority number 1 for me, I think, from what I'm hearing. Kuda, what are your thoughts on the issue?
Talking or?
I mean, yeah, sure.
I feel like I talk a decent amount. Obviously, I can't talk more than Alden because he is our main shot caller.
Right.
So I let him take care of the most of it.
Okay.
As far as John goes, I agree. Like with what Alden and Zach say, I guess there's sometimes where he could talk more, but.
Okay. Now I've got a question for you guys because I've been jumping around, but I've not talked to Momo like at all here, and I'm seeing mostly Brig and Lucio comps win. And how much does Momo play? How much do you play?
Right now, like, I don't start. They put me in if like it's a pretty easy team that we're going against.
Yeah.
Because like Jake is better at Lucio than I am.
Yeah.
Because I just started playing him.
Right.
And I'm just like more comfortable on Mercy than like. I mean, I used to be very comfortable on like off tank, but then like once Overwatch 2 came out, I struggled a lot on main tanks, and that's why I kind of got moved down to main support because I only know Mercy other than tank, and so I'm having to like pick up Lucio, and it's like I don't talk very much in the game. I never really have because like I have to focus like on the game. I'm also very introverted, so I like my voice like it gets really soft. I feel like I just like kind of blend into the background, but I also like, you know, I try, but like I realize it's not good enough a lot of the time. But yeah.
So why is Momo on the team? Is just Mercy specialist? Because I really don't feel this is really fair to her whatsoever. Because I appreciate you guys trying to incorporate her. I just want to understand what's the situation in terms of playing, starting. Is she actually useful? Because I even feel bad like right now all these issues that we're just talking about and she's not even part of the conversation because I don't even know if she's playing in the VOD we're looking at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's just very quiet. I mean, that's just her personality. But I think when it comes to Mercy, Jacob would rather throw himself off a building than play Mercy. Any situation in which we feel like that's the strongest or that's meta or anything like that, that's where we put Ali. So she was getting a lot of play time like last meta, especially in scrims. Like we were running Mercy like every single game. And we had Jacob in like a sub DPS situation. But we're kind of swapping back to where we originally were.
Okay. So Ali, how are you like not bored out of your mind during scrims? Like, because honestly, I've been in that position before, and I know of players who've been in that position before. I mean, heck, Al, last season, I was coaching Poco on Doomfist and Overwatch 2 beta quick play because he was bench boy. It sucks. So how have you been coping?
I mean, I try to be, like, I'm not any ill feelings or, like, negative about it. I just try to, like, pay attention and still be part of the team as much as I can.
Okay.
I realize, like, right now there may not be a place for me, but, like, maybe next meta there will be, you know?
Sure. So let me ask you a question. If there's a place for you next meta, what would you like to be better at, you know, between then and now? And don't just say, oh, I'd like to be that, because we could say, I would like to, you know, have a pony, have $1,000, have massive muscles. Like, what, like, really, like, what do you think reasonably would be a nice skill to have when the next meta rolls around? Is it better communication, better game understanding, better Lucio? What would that be?
Yeah, I feel like...
What's the number one priority? Give me one. Just one.
Better at, like, main support as a whole, because I do want to learn Lucio, and I struggled with it a lot. Like, I didn't even understand how to, like, go on the walls. It was that bad.
I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
I suck at Lucio.
But, like, I just wanted to, like, definitely learn more heroes, because I just want to, like, provide more to the team as much as possible.
Sure. Okay. And what's number 2 for you? So you said just expand. It sounded more like expand my hero. Get better at Lucio. Sounded like number 1. In so many words. What would be number 2 for you?
I feel like be better at communication, because there's a lot of times in game where Alden has to remind me to talk, or that for me to say something to him, like when I'm speeding him in, or like when I use my amp, like stuff like that.
Okay.
So just better communication and learning how to, like, call and just be vocal about what I'm doing.
John, have you played with Ali recently?
When we were running Echo Mercy, I played with her for a little bit.
So do you have any off the top of your head memories of Ali just shutting down communicationally?
So okay.
Because I want to hear, because you're the one running with the pocket at least some of the time. So I want to know what you need from her more, or what you think the team would benefit more communicationally.
Mercy wise, communication, just like let me know, like, when you're rezzing. She started to do that a bit. She started to, like, call that she's rezzing, but she's like, again, she's very quiet, so it's hard to hear. She's starting to do that. One thing I do want her to do is, like, let me know if you're not, like, pocketing me or whatever. Yeah. Because I just assume for the most time you're just, like, pocketing me, and I just go in super aggro and think I could get a quick kill and then just get out. Yeah. But there's times where she's, like, healing or, like, peeling for Zach or whatever, and then I go in and I'm too focused on, like, trying to secure this kill real quick that I didn't realize that I had my Mercy with me. Right. And I just ended up dying because I went in too hard.
Right. Alm, would you agree with that?
With what John said?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think so. I'm not really the pocket or echo, but
but you're the one prodding her with communication in general. So, like, what are you expecting there?
Oh, I mean, with Mercy, I don't really complain about Mercy. But, like,
okay.
When we do have her playing, like, Lucio or something like that, I try and ask her for, like, amp timings or, like, who she's with and stuff like that.
Okay, so, like, bare minimum stuff, just who she's with, amp speed. Okay, and I'm not being like passive aggressive here. I mean, bare minimum is important because here's the thing, and there's a common theme here. Your most mechanical carry, your person who's learning a new hero, right? It's not an accident those are the two people that you're struggling with communicating, right? Why? What are they focusing on?
Our own gameplay.
Right, mechanics, exactly. Like, if you put me on any hero that I'm not comfortable with, my communication is going to skyrocket downwards, right? So, it's going to go way down. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Are any of you guys taking notes so far?
Because if not so far, but I have a pen and notepad.
Okay.
I'm literally just gonna watch the recording back.
Okay. I highly recommend you doing that and just giving some sort of priority list, because here it goes. All right. So we've talked about John. We talked about team communication. We talked about my thoughts on macro. Okay. Momo, When we have the low-hanging fruit with Mercy and Lucio, I know that you're introverted and you're also not as confident on maybe the heroes that you're playing. What SR are you at, by the way?
I think right now I'm like Diamond 3.
Okay. So here's the thing. You've got no excuses. When it comes to communicating reses, leaving pocket, I wouldn't say necessarily who you're with on Lucio because that's kind of like constantly changing. But what would you say would be like the real important stuff with Lucio to call? I don't want to hear Alden's opinion. I want to hear your opinion. From your time in Lucio, what do you think?
I guess like if Alden wants to engage, like I'll tell him that I have amp ready because sometimes I don't, and like I forget to even tell him, and I feel so bad. Right.
You know what? If you really feel bad, if you really felt bad, you'd fix the issue. Because otherwise it's just like hollow pity. It doesn't actually mean anything. It's like, oh, I feel so bad, but I'm not going to do anything about it. Well, that's really helpful. But yeah, I agree with that. I think just simply communicating when you have amp, and then maybe beat. I really think that's all you need to communicate. Like, here's the thing: is like I've worked with Admiral. I've worked with I'm trying to think somebody else, Refid. I've worked with even Lep, who's actually pretty quiet a lot of the time in Lucio. It's like I've worked with a lot of really good main supports that don't talk a lot, but it's the same thing. It's just what are the priorities? Like what must you call no matter how quiet you are? And I'm going to be honest with you, if you cannot call your timing of your reses and your amp timing, you don't deserve to be in a competitive team, much less a collegiate team. And it's the same kind of responsibility that we put on John, where John needs to step up, you need to step up as well. Zach and all need to step up their leadership skills. John needs to step up his communication. Momo, you need to step up your communication. And Kuda is just a perfect little angel. But besides that, like that's what needs to happen.
He was just sitting there smiling.
Yeah,
my little angel.
You did. You made me blush.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. I blew a kiss to the camera. Wait, now I'm blowing it right now. Okay, so you guys, Momo, you got that? No, you're mid diamond. Like obviously you're on the bottom of the SR, but you're still a good player. You're better than 90% of the player base. Like there's just no excuse. You know, if that's what your team needs, you need to step up. And I think like. You have the excuse of worrying about mechanics. So then what we're going to try and do is we're going to remove the noise. We're going to only give you what you need to focus on so you can continue to work on your mechanics. Sound good? Okay. And then, I figured what the heck as well. Momo, I want you to be actively involved in the replay part of this review as well, because I think it can't hurt if you're sitting on the sideline, bored out of your mind, to actually try and work on a little bit of your planning stage as well. Maybe we'll have you as a shot caller in 2 years. Who knows? Okay. So we got to work on our communication. We got to deal with the low-hanging fruit of our communication. Is there anything else team-wise that you guys want to discuss? I feel like this has gone on for a while, but I want to encourage you guys that like this is really, really important. I mean, Zach knows how these reviews go, right? Like these are the issues that need to be fixed. You know, going over gameplay and talking about, you know, this is a good angle to take is going to be like super low investment. But this is the big stuff. So anything else, guys, that you want to go over, or do you don't feel like it's been fully discussed?
Well, I think it's a more general thing, but I think it helps a ton. Like, just I don't know how to put it exactly, but like awareness of where your team's playing or what they're doing. Like, let's say for example, I see John sitting in the back line. He doesn't say anything, right?
Yeah. I'm noticing a common theme here.
Yeah, but like. Then I have to think about where is he gonna play? Where does he want to fight? And I can think about that and talk about it with my team.
Yeah.
And be like, I want to fight like past the bridge or something like that. But then with that information, they have to think about where the best spot to fight for that area is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So you're like trying to think about like where's the best spot to fight, but also this is like where my guy wants to fight, and so I have to kind of like balance that kind of priority out.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say is like I think it's more important for you guys to kind of, I mean, this is a really cliche answer and you probably could already figure it out, but just function as a team. Like be flexible. Because like if John is set up for this, then you really should just all set up for that. Learn to like break the rules when you can. I'm sure we'll get more into that when we actually look at the gameplay though.
Can I say one thing real quick? So All right, I know my place.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Oh, he got rolled. What a peasant. Is that where you guys put him near the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay. John, go ahead.
All right. Zach, mute your mic, bro. All right, thank you. One thing I was gonna say, so like about like the like flanks and all this and that.
Yeah. You get beat
I like
up.
so this sounds really stupid, right? But I like to think like this: if my own team doesn't know what I'm doing, the enemy team is not gonna know what I'm doing. But
right. Some of
that's
real.
Stupid. Listen, I know that sounds stupid. It sounds stupid.
It doesn't just sound stupid. It is stupid.
Okay, it is
Go
stupid.
ahead, John.
Okay, but my like the thing is, I don't like for like some of those flanks, like I said, they're like on the spot type thing, and I never really planned out the like.
I hear you.
Get out of like jail free card, so I don't want to like risk my team dying for a play that's probably not going to end up dying.
But the fight's over if you die anyway.
Well, yes,
it's over. It's over. Now let me tell you something. Some of the best DPS players in the world have your mentality. I hope you know that. I hope your mentality is not a liability. Your mentality is what enables you to be as good as you are. Because you just don't care. You have no respect whatsoever, and you have absolute confidence. I know so many players in Overwatch League, that would pay thousands of dollars. I'm not even joking for your mentality. I'm not joking. Because that is so freeing to just know that I just do not care. I'm just gonna I'm gonna ego these kids. Like I'm just gonna do whatever just feels good in the moment. Like that sort of freedom is like such a powerful DPS mentality, and it's not an accident that more often DPS players have that, because you need that. You need that killer instinct. Okay, now you're definitely a little bit on the crazy end. Maybe you've hit the heroin a little too hard, you know. But the point being is that like that is something that it's not something you should be like embarrassed about, or oh my team won't, I don't want my team to get punished for it. No, roll with it. That should be your team identity. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever heard the term like too many cooks in the kitchen? You know what I'm saying? All right, so I coached a team. You guys ever heard of chicken contendies back in 2018? I think.
Yes.
All right. Zach is already laughing. Okay, let me read you this roster of chicken contendies. All right. So we had Harblue, who was Mr. Big Cook, wants to carry. Tanner from high school, who was a big hit scan, got to cook. You know what I'm saying? We had Suppose, who was like this mechanical warlord at the point in time, wants to cook, wants to be the big shot. We had Salty and Off Tank. He wants to cook. He's the big show off. And then we had freaking Gig, okay? And Gig permanently pinning in the backline. Everybody wanted to be the playmaker. Everybody was the alpha Chad. And ultimately, the team literally just imploded after a few months. They went through literally 5 coaches in like 2 months. Like the most unpleasant experience I've ever had as a coach. And that team did not last whatsoever. Too many egos, okay? John, this team is built around supporting you. I promise you. Like you need to lean into this, bro. Like the reason we're making so much fun of you and getting so much on you is because I think your teammates will probably back you up of how much potential this team has if we could actually work with you. Alden, would you agree with that? Zach, would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. I was gonna say, I thought like when you were first starting that like whole spiel about that, I thought you were being so sarcastic and like so passive aggressive.
No, bro. No, I'm not even joking. I'm 100% serious. I'm 100% serious. Like you are a mad dog. All your team needs you to do is just bark before you bite. You know what I'm saying? That's literally it. If we could just give us a heads up when you're fixing to go in, when you're fixing to break the chain, we can work with that. I'm really not joking. I'm dead serious. So seriously though, like you utilize that. Now obviously there will be absolute feeding plays and plays that you might be like, okay, maybe that was really just stupid. But I want you to lean into the instinct. Just get the wolf pack with you. You know what I'm saying? There's 2 wolves inside of you, you know.
My God, bro.
Okay.
Bark before you bite. I love that so much.
That's really all it is. Like I would legitimately kill your team. Would kill it if you could just literally imagine if you just barked every single time in your mic before it. And that was just a heads up. Like guys, I want to go. I think, dude, that would be hilarious. That would be actually such a banger scrim block. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I'll do that.
I'll
do that the next scrim.
I'm not even joking. Give it a shot. That would be super fun. And you would remember to do it too. You'd be like, bark, that would see your teammates would also be able to yell. You'd be like, bark, you dog. Like, let's go.
I think that would add so much more enjoyability. I know that's not a word, but that would make the game would be so much more fun.
Well, that's the thing. Is like that's the whole thing is that we want to make it fun. Like when you're on the flank, like we want to come in like hot rod, like coming in to support you, like Ride of the Valkyries. You know, like we're like you turn around and you kill 2, and then the cavalry arrives to come support you. You know what I'm saying? Like your team this is what we play around. You know what I'm saying? We play around that. It's like Hadia and Ryan, or you know, Backbone on Echo, or like a Sparker on the flank on Soldier. Like there were certain comps that we were like, shut up and let's listen to what they say. You know what I'm saying? Or shut up and listen when they bark. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. We want to play around that. I don't think about this as like a strength or a weakness. Excuse me. This is a strength that you need to be utilizing. You just need to know how to hone that weapon. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So many players like get caught up with that, and they're either too quiet and passive in supporting role, trying to be this loud alpha chad shot caller when they just need to be the best supporter in the history of the world. Or you have like the players that are like, I'm super hard carry, I need to be like super disciplined and super meek and super passive, and like that's just not how it works. And whenever you try and like force yourself to be something that you're not, you're just gonna be horrible. Like respectfully, you're just gonna be really bad. Okay, any other questions, guys?
And that's everything from me.
Okay, all right. Keep update me if there's anything else that comes up. Which replay code do you guys want to start with? We got like 30, 40 more, but I wanna start with whatever one's most important.
I think Lijiang, just because we seem to play that like every single series ever.
Right.
So.
All right, so we're talking ball here. Let me make sure I got everybody. Who's not here?
Diddy Kong.
Okay, so it's the Tracer, Briggs, Zen, all here. Shy Guy is Alden. Goombas, John. Waligi is Kuda. And then Zach. Okay, all set. All right, so let's talk about this. Like the fundamentally basics of this composition. This is what I told you I was going to pull this one on you. Get ready. Ali, what's the strengths of this composition? Our comp. I told you I was going to get you.
Yeah, I'm not the right person to ask.
You're exactly the right person to ask, because if you don't know the answer, that means that you should be asked. If you already know the answer, why would I ask you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so if you don't know the answer, think about it. Compare it to their composition. That's always where it's the easiest to understand comps, right? Compare Ball to Rhine, right? As simple as the stupid as that is, what is Ball better at than Rhine is?
Ball's faster. He's able to engage and get out.
Right, stop right there. Okay, what about Sojourn and Cassidy?
They can sit back and just shoot.
Yeah. Okay, what about Tracer versus Reaper?
Tracer's like, able to get out. I mean, Reaper too, but he's not as mobile as Tracer.
Right. So at least before we get to the support line, you're noticing a common theme here. Cassidy versus Sojourn, what's the common theme?
Just quicker.
Right, they're just quicker. Now let me ask you a question. How do you leverage that, right? Can you run in and one-shot a Rhine or one-shot a Reaper? No. So how do we leverage that? Be creative. Don't be afraid to be wrong. Just be creative, right?
I guess just like her abilities.
Yeah. Okay. So we go to backline. What are Briggs Zen good at?
They're able to hold like an angle, like Zen is, and Briggs able to peel for Zen.
Yep. Okay. And then what is Zen good at?
Healing from afar and doing damage.
Now why is the healing from afar? Oh, even Brig is good at healing from afar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now why is that really important? Look at your composition. What did you just talk about with your DPS and tank line?
They're able to move quick.
Right.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? They're going to be split apart from Briggs in most of the fight, going off their own. They're like solo little dive bomb missions, right? So you need supports that can heal from afar. Now, theoretically, their comp is relatively mobile as well, but can a Kiriko heal a Cassie on off angle? Yes. But can a Lucio? No, right? Can a Reinhardt assist their Cassie on an off angle? Easily. With charge a little bit, but not as much as Ball, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're playing this composition, how do you beat the Reinhardt composition? And again, if you answer this one wrong, don't feel bad. Go in it with a John mentality. Be wrong, but at 100%.
What is that?
Go Mad
I guess
Dog.
just play faster than them.
Okay, what does faster mean?
Like,
oh, by the way, time out really quick, Allie. Every single one of you pay really close attention to this one and trying to answer the questions in your own brain, because I promise you half of you are going to be getting it right in your own brain. And at least Allie has the guts to be wrong vocally. Go ahead, Allie.
I guess just like short bursts of like fights, and they're able to like regroup and get back.
See, I like that, because when you said faster, I was very angry at you, because faster doesn't mean anything. But you said faster with the very specific definition, which was quick bursts, right? Now, let me ask you a question. If you don't one-shot them with one ball engage, is it the end of the world?
No.
No. Why? What do you do?
Because you're able to get out and do it all again.
Yes. That's exactly it. So you actually used the perfect definition of fast, which is to go in and try again and again and again. You don't have to win fast. You just need to engage with fast windows of timing, right? And what is that window of timing? When do you guys, quote unquote, engage? Who sets that tempo?
Ball and Tracer.
Yeah, exactly. Why?
Because they work together to go in and basically play off each other. Right.
Let me ask you a question. Should your Xignon and Brig basically be always ready?
Yes.
Why?
Because they need to have that angle on their ball.
Right. So what do Ball Tracer need before they're ready to go?
To be on the same page.
Right. And how and where do Ball Tracer engage? If you're playing ball, where are you trying to engage from? I mean, look at the situation we're on our map right now. You see?
Yeah.
How do you engage? From where?
I guess from like the opposite side of their support.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good general rule, right? So then that explains why they're the ones setting tempo too. Do you see that? They need to be set up. Your Briggs and even your Sojourn generally will already be set up. Okay, that was perfect. That was really, really good. Okay, so you do know the answer. You just had to work your way to get there. Okay?
Yeah.
That's why I asked you the question. Okay? You're not an idiot. So, according to what Ali said, we already know exactly how we should play versus this composition, everybody. Yeah?
Yeah. Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, actually? You can. Yeah.
While we're on this point, do you think now the reason we put him on Sojourn is because we just think that she's still good and he's basically OT Peter.
Yeah.
Since the start of Overwatch 2. Do you think that there are significant advantages at picking like a different hero, or do you think Sojourn?
No.
You think Sojourn's good here?
Sojourn's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean Sojourn's totally fine. I mean, people might want to play. I could see Ashe being good on some maps. I could see Sombra being good on some maps. But Sojourn is a good hero, so it's fine. And this is probably actually one of the points where I would expect Sojourn to be the easiest hero. I think Sombra Ashe would be really, really hard here. So yeah, Sojourn's fine. Okay. What's the only potential problem that you guys can see with this setup right now?
Them running out our backline.
We get walked on.
Well, could they?
They're in closed space.
Could they? Let me ask you guys a question. I'm interrupting, okay? Let me ask you guys a question. Can the Reinhardt Lucio comp catch up with your Brigson anytime they want to?
Not anytime.
Yeah.
Can they eventually?
Yeah.
Okay. But at what point, or what cooldown position, or what HP position should they be by the time they get there? You guys see my point, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's not about whether they can get to your Brigson, because they can always get you Brigson. Always. If they want to use Suzu and Pen and TP and Amp Speed and everything, they will get to your Brigson. But about how much HP, how much will they lose in the process to getting there? So let me ask you a question. Is your Brigson in a good position right now?
Not right now, I don't think.
Okay. Well, then where should they be?
Well, I think starting out right side is fine, but here it'd be better left.
Okay. Could you get there without Lucio meeting you there?
Starting out, I mean, it's just a gamble, but
yeah, it's not a very good gamble, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine for them rotating.
Yeah. You guys got a tough situation. You know, there isn't really a good place for your backline right now. So I think where they're at is okay for right now. What is the one issue that's unrelated to Briggs in right now, though, with their setup?
With their setup, you said?
With our setup.
Oh, with our setup?
Unrelated to Briggs in. What's up? Somebody said
Our
something?
Sojourn?
Why is that a problem?
Well, she has some mobility, but not as much as Ball Chaser.
What's the problem with her mobility? Where's she gonna shift to if she were to shift?
Probably back towards our side.
And would she be safe?
Like
No.
Right. So there's your problem. Briggsand can't see her. She's not able to shift into a position where we can support her. It's that simple. Yeah. Any other questions? I say as I press play. Okay. All right. So if we don't get a nice little juicy timing here, nice crisp engage, like a fast engage, like Ali was saying, then we're going to be cooked. Because even there, if we don't like actually engage their comp, they don't have a lot of poke damage, but their casting will make your Ball Tracer's life miserable. You guys need to be on the same timing here. Alrighty. Now let me ask you guys a question. Ball's in, yeah? We said this as our timing. Okay. What could a Briggsand be doing right now?
Walking
right.
Yeah. Now that's crazy, right? Crazy. At any other time but now. Right? Why?
Yeah.
Huh. Why? What would happen if a Briggsand walked up 2 seconds ago?
Free kill.
Free kill. Yep, free kill. Bingo. Uh-oh. That's a sketch bash, by the way, Kuda. yeah, be very careful about that. What do you guys think, by the way, about your setup right now? Ali, what do you think about the setup?
I guess it's good.
Why?
Because everyone has like a good angle of the fight, and
right. Yeah. Why is that good for you guys?
Because everyone has an angle, or like Ali said, everyone has an angle to go on a slam.
Yeah. There's no cover for them. It's over. There's no cover. The Rein Shield gets nothing done. It's over. And at this point in time, let me ask you a question. Do we need to be scared of Rein like that much right now?
No.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, as long as he doesn't have Shatter, or they don't have Bead or Kiriko or something like that, you guys can literally walk on them. Just keep walking. Aggression. It's about when you go aggressive, right? Did you notice that? Did you notice that, like, Kuda's, like, literally melee range on a Reinhardt, right? It's when it was happening, right? You guys got enough of a resource advantage to where you guys could just push and walk on top of them. Really well done, guys. If this is as clean as this, then, you know, my job is done, I guess. Huh. I assume it's not. I assume it's not.
Does that mean I get a refund?
No, you don't. Actually, I charge double for retroactive coaching value. Yeah, see? Get rolled. Now, this point should be very easy to defend, but very hard to attack. You guys have points, so you guys could stall point forever, get lots of early spam. I really like this setup. This is great. I'm so happy. Nothing could go wrong. I feel so thankful. I mean, you guys feel like you guys could just stall this forever and spam and spam and spam and spam. Now, here is our world famous John play.
Oh no.
So I'm going now. Let me ask you a question. Was this an instinctual play?
I'm gonna be honest.
Look at your screen right now and tell me the answer to that. No. You're set up for it. You're set up for it. You're waiting for it, right? This is a good play. So then, what's going to make this play work? What do you need?
My ball.
Your ball slam, and a Discord, and a Sojourn E. Any sort of chaos, so that this pulse becomes easier to land, or at least indirectly causes chaos that they can actually walk on. I'm telling you, this stuff happens, right? So let's find out what happens. Do we stick it? We get scouted. Well, that's problem number one. Kiriko finds us. Now Kiriko knows something is happening. Disaster, right? Disaster. And they're even putting Reinhardt and Lucio and all sorts of crap on you. And what are we getting out of it? Let me ask you guys a question. We could even walk up here, right? Just walk up a little bit with a pulse. Right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. With a pulse bomb, we could walk up. With a pulse bomb, right?
Yeah.
Someone was going to say something and then didn't say something.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things that I see John do it, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go in and try and help him. Like, I noticed it kind of late, but
you hear me?
Wait. So now here's the
Mark. Please.
Okay, no, wait, okay. See, we don't have comms, so now I'm debating. I don't know if I called this out or not.
Okay.
I would like
you know
to
what?
say
you
I
know
did.
what? You know what? That's a great point. And then if this happens, and you guys see this is called, and nobody follows up, John, I want you to take a really, really heavy ruler, walk right over to Alden's thighs, and just lay it down. You know what I'm saying? I want him hobbling for a week.
All right,
yeah.
Because you're
like that too.
Because you're right. It's a two-way street. Like this happens, you know. Like it's about listening just as much as it is about calling. Because obviously, like this is just a disaster. Like our tracer goes in, our tracer goes out, then our balls goes in. You know, it's like, well, that's this nice little merry-go-round we have here. Because like, look, I mean, at least we got the sync with the Sojourn. At least we got two people playing together in the same team. But imagine if a tracer pulse was there or anything. Yeah, this is a disaster. Okay, so they've got beat first, which is a bit of a problem because that does give them I hate using this term, a quote unquote win con. They can now cheat and just run you down. And you guys aren't going to have your first ult first, so let's see how this goes. Run. Nice slam or nice boop. We get a little bit of time. They stand still. That's really helpful of them. And yeah, okay, man, whatever. Like, we look like we're pushing aggressively off the mines. And this is really quite easy. Okay, well. Okay, it's funny, though. Like, this is why... I mean, I'm going to be honest. Like, you guys are beating the crap out of them. But you could still see, even during the happy-go-lucky days that we're having right now, that you could still see the systemic issues that you guys have as a team, right?
Yeah.
Like, we saw one fight, and we can already see, oh, Tracer just goes through something. Okay, you know. All right. Now, Ali, are you here? Your brain on.
Dude, Zach.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I hate to break it to you, but Zach, you chose the wrong VOD. This isn't the good one. This is from.
Isn't this the one we just had?
No, that's the game. This is from the game.
Oh, this is from the game.
That's okay. I want to do one question, and then we can go to the actual good VOD. Okay.
Yeah.
Ali, look at the ults. Tell me what should the fight plan be here? Give me the full fight plan, and limit it to like only a couple of ults, because obviously after that it just gets too complicated. What's the best basic fight plan for the next fight?
I guess just.
No, I guessing. That implies that you're not sure. Be confident even if you're completely wrong.
Okay, I guess I'll be wrong.
No, no guessing either. I know I'll be wrong. Be confident. What are you doing?
I guess like Tracer and Ball go in while our supports have a good angle on them, and Sojourn can ult. And as
what are
the
they
fight
gonna
progresses, they're gonna use their gate off the bat.
So what are we gonna do? So we Sojourn ult, they're gonna Kiriko ult. Then what were you gonna do?
I guess if it gets to that point, like we can trans if
Do we need trans for anything else?
Probably if they get Blossom.
Well, do you think that's gonna? Well, my question though is, then is trans a good plan to use to stabilize during Kiriko ult, or should we really try to not use it?
I guess just
Don't listen. Don't let me pressure you. I'm asking. I'm asking these questions in a way, but I want to know your honest answers here.
Yes.
So you just want to use trans aggressively?
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I think that's actually a perfect ult plan. That's like Overwatch League level ult plan, by the way. That's exactly what would happen. It would be Sojourn ult because you guys have good range. You poke them out, they would either die or they'd have to defensively Kiriko ult. If things get really, really hot, then you could trans mid fight. If you do get rallied prior to then, that's fine. But that's actually the perfect fight plan. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm just telling you. Don't thank me.
Yeah.
Okay. Better VOD?
I believe so. That one should work.
I'm closing down my streams. You guys don't see how many quick play games I played the other day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick play warrior.
Well, I didn't say that. I just said the other day. Yeah, I left that one perfectly ambiguous. Okay.
Sure.
Hey, listen. Your mic is still picking up. I can still hear you. Okay. Let's well, we don't really need to talk about this, do we? So we already know the compositional matchup. The details don't really matter. It's Briggs in versus Ryan Lucio, so we have a good general idea of what we should be doing. Now let's see what happens. We know how we should play. We know that some of the problems that we had previously. We already know what that tracer messed up, right? What did that tracer mess up, guys? What did that tracer pull?
Going into Briggs Zen.
Yeah, no, well, no, that's that. Oh my gosh, that tracer, that bolt tracer. Okay, what can we call it when John is on the loose? Mad Dog, right? Like Mad Dog. Okay.
Are you kidding?
What is this? What is this? This is Dopey Dog. You know, this is Dopey Dog. This is Dumb Dog. This is the dog that wakes you up at like 3 a.m. barking at like a raccoon like 5 miles away. You know what I'm saying? What an idiot. The thing probably eats its own poop. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody cares about that dog. That's not Mad Dog. That's dumb. That's Dumb Dog. That's Dumb Dog. You know. Now, are we gonna see Mad Dog? Are we gonna see Mad Dog? Mad Dog says go and Ryan. All right. We go. Ah, we got Mad Dog. We got Mad Dog, guys. We got Mad Dog. Nice, guys. Easy fight win. Nice, guys. So good. So good. Look at Mad Dog. Mad Dog's still going. Nice job, guys. Oh my days.
That's nice.
That's good. Uh-oh, what happened to Mad Dog?
Wait, this happened like 6 times this round.
No, what happened to Mad Dog? Unlucky. You know what? Honestly, y'all. Okay, so let me ask you: is there anything deep, philosophical, like wrong about that?
The exact moment he died. I was just gonna say the exact moment he dies, and this happens 6 times this round at least. He goes, "Oh, support character, by the way."
Oh,
every time he dies,
one
the
of those
character.
guys.
No, listen to this. This character is the only character I know that does triple headshot damage. No other character does that. Widow Scope crit does 2.5. Why does character does 3 as a support character?
He's raking in a bottom review right now. Yeah, this is perfect.
Okay, we good?
Beautiful.
Okay, okay.
I'm back.
Let me ask you a question though. Do you know what effective range means? It's like something that teach silvers and gold players.
Yeah, an effective range. Yeah,
Let me ask you a
where
question.
it's like
how much damage do you do at this range?
1. If I'm lucky.
Right. Okay. Just completely unrelated to your death at hand, but just figured, you know, why not? You know.
My brick didn't shield me.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'm kidding.
I mean, I know. We know you're kidding.
Okay,
It was a double sarcasm layer. You gotta keep up with the times.
Sarcasm on sarcasm.
Yeah, it's really crispy. All right, Mad Dog. Here we go. Here it comes. Wait. Oh yeah. See. Here's the thing. Like, even though this was, y'all good?
He's dying over here, bro.
All right. Mad Dog. Okay, so what's the problem with Mad Dog here, by the way, y'all? Can you guys kind of break me down what's the problem with Mad Dog? By the way, it's not even necessarily Mad Dog's problem here. What's it? Why does this engage feel like really crappy? Besides the fact that this is one of, okay, you get booped. So there's definitely a wee bit of micro, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have to learn how to play around Lucio better, like hold onto the grapple and etc. You do hold on the grapple, you just get deadpanned. Okay. Anyway, what's one of the problems here that you guys see?
Oh, we're not set up for the dive.
Right, like the level of aggression here isn't like synced, you know? It's like we got too many people looking at Tracer right now, and not enough people looking at this ball engage. Now I get it, you know what I'm saying? It's a Tracer, but this Tracer's getting like freaking work done. Look at this, 1, 2, 3. Come on. So when we call this, like, we just have to kind of trust each other to be able to deal with this and understand the priority of like getting the Sojourn E, getting the body shot rail, getting the Discord, whatever. Because I don't think the solo Tracer is going to be enough of the threat. I think we could trust Kuda to deal with that, and then everybody else can follow up off of this. Make sense? That's a bit of micro, but I think the reason why I'm prioritizing that is because you guys can see when a dive doesn't feel good. Yes, we can blame like Alden for just beefing it, but also at the same time, like, this is why it's important, you know? It doesn't matter the comp. If we're not able to like synchronize the pressure, then that needs to become like the #1 priority, is to figure out why or how we need to be doing that. I mean, even here, like, is this a Mad Dog moment, or is this just another? Like, let me ask you a question. Why? Yes, support hero. By the way, you know, sad violin. But also, how much pressure is our Briggs in Sojourn putting out right now?
1.
Like nothing, absolutely. So like, you let your Mad Dog down. You know what I'm saying? You promise him like T-bone steak, and you come back with like a tuna can. Like, what's wrong with you guys? You know? Like, legitimately, this is not a Tracer mistake. This is backline. This is on you guys. This is all on you guys. It's also on the ball for putting out really no pressure because you beefed the engage. Does that make sense?
That's not my fault.
Yeah.
Like if you don't hit that pressure spike and you don't do anything, then that comp just walks forward. Like, even with your Tracer alive, they just walk forward. You missed your opportunity. Your balls were low HP. Remember what Ali said. You guys need to play fast, which means you don't necessarily need to go very fast, but when your ball's in, you guys also have to be playing aggressively. And when your ball's out, you need to not be playing aggressively. Does that make sense? It's that simple.
Yeah.
You guys could have sat there and just pressed mouse 1 and just had your Mad Dog play like careful, play slow, you know, ball play slow. That would have been fine too. But if your ball's in, your Tracer's in, you need to be in too. Okay, and then this comes the retake, which is just absolutely misery. Now let me ask you guys a theoretical question here. So, Ali, you talked about the strengths of the comp, right? And you know what their comp's going to do. How do we retake this? And I'm gonna be honest with you, it is not an easy answer at all. It's not even a consistent answer. What is the theory of retaking versus this composition with your comp? Ali, what is it?
Would it be like similar to what I said earlier? Like
similar.
How we would set up and be on the same page?
Okay. Look at their DPS line.
Yeah.
Where's your Tracer gonna be?
On our backline? Like our
Zen? Let me ask you a question. Who has better control of off angles and flanks?
Tracer.
Okay. Which team has better control of off angles or flanks?
Our team.
Okay, so who should win the Tracer duel?
Our team.
Okay, so is that a good first step for controlling space in a retake?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we can capitalize off of it.
In what way? You're saying words, but they don't mean anything. In what way?
Like our ball can go in with our Tracer at the same time to help our Tracer do work.
Right. So let me ask you a question. If you so you're saying if you focus their Tracer out, right, which is what you're doing right now, then what does that open up?
For us to go on their team?
Sure. Let me ask you a question. If that Tracer's out, where is she going to be? Like, where does she have to run to?
She has to be in like her supports vision.
Yeah, right. So right inside of her team, right? So what does that mean for your backline?
To play away from that.
Right. Did they have to worry about flanks now? You see what I'm saying? If their Tracer is inside of their backline, where are the threats to your backline? They're all in one spot, yes?
Yeah.
So you see how that... And as a Tracer, do you want to be in behind your Iron Shield? If I'm playing Tracer, do I want to sit inside of my Lucio R, or do I want to go on a flank?
I want to go flank.
Right, and now I can't do that because the ball Tracer keep bullying me out. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's step number 1, is you have advantage of mobility. How can I best utilize that? Are there anybody on flanks on their team? Is it a Sojourn? Is it a Tracer? Go clear them out, then go from there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does that make sense to everybody else in the call?
Yes.
Utilize your range, utilize your mobility, clear out the flanks. Once they don't have flanks, then you can cautiously take space. Let's see what happens. You see it? That's exactly what happens, you know? Doesn't feel great, but it's exactly what happens. Now, what do you guys think so far? Just everything, Looks, yeah, I would say about the same. Looks okay. Hey, look at that. How did this work? Do you see?
Yeah.
Do you see? Like, when the pulse happens, Where is the attention of the enemy team? 1, 2. Discord. Damage being done. Ball. Kiriko. Lucio. Split over here. Tracer split over here. It's a good pull, so I'm not gonna lie with you guys. But if look at the Suzu, right? It's still a Suzu, so you know, funny Suzu ability. But I mean, even if this doesn't land, do you see how this is problematic for the enemy team? Look at the Kiriko. Look at the Rein. Now, unless this Reinhardt pins somebody, this Reinhardt is dead, right?
We're shadowing.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. You know what? Nice job, guys. I'm not even joking. This is good. Like, really think about this. If this Reinhardt doesn't get the goofy pin, what do you see on your screen? You know what I'm saying? Dead Tracer, no Suzu, Kiriko ult, Trance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a really good retake. That's a really good retake. And point flip. Now your Brig is dead, I think, even through Trance, right? But your Sojourn could have survived this. I mean, really, truly, guys, this isn't bad. Really not. This is great. I mean, look at, see, it worked. It worked. Even despite everything that could have gone wrong, going wrong. You guys are fixing to win this fight, right? Surely. Oh, I hope to goodness I'm not proving. Uh-oh, guys. Uh-oh, guys. Bad news. Bad news. Huh. Who's dumb dogging right now?
Me.
Yeah. Interesting. Hey, John, you got that ruler?
Yeah, actually I do.
But bro, like, look how low they are. Like, we just waited. Like,
you hear this?
Yeah, I hear that. What is that?
It's my ruler.
Oh, it sounds good. It sounds sharp. Okay. But yeah, that. Oh my days. Telling you guys, this stuff matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that, you know, John isn't, but like this, it's a team issue. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who this is. I don't care if this is your backline not pushing forward as we saw earlier. I don't care if it's John pushing by himself. I don't care if it's not Alden pushing by himself. This is a problem. Like this, there's no reason that this fight should be lost. No reason at all. You guys played this one so well. And you're fixing to just lose this? Come on, John. Sweat it, John. Sweat it. Oh! I don't even blame John for that one. John's trying, you know? John's trying. John's got support, but it doesn't matter. There's no ball. And now we have to start all over again. You guys see my point, yes?
Yeah.
It's really hard mid-fight to maintain that discipline because you're like, oh, my team is with me. But if you'd waited 2 seconds, you win this fight. Literally 1.5 seconds behind a wall, and you guys win this fight. That's all it took. That's all it would have taken. Or taken. Taken? Whatever.
Taken?
You got it.
Okay. Thanks. All right. Okay. I mean, it's obviously tricky because Shatter, right? Like right now, we're honestly at a point right now to where you guys could play this perfectly and still just lose the map at this point in time. I'm not even joking. It's just that's just the nature of this round. That's why you can't throw away fights like you just did. Because this looks all good to me, you know? You need to pressure that Reinhardt, but he's got Shatters, so you're not like sure how to like balance that, you know? Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing you can do, you know? I really do think that, like, outside of, like, looking at the micro there, which maybe we could look at, but I really don't want to. I think you guys played that one well. Backline played it as aggressively as they could without getting shattered. The ball tracer, you guys were playing really well on each other's timing. Putting a lot of pressure out. The flip is really obviously great. Maybe we can farm from an ultimate here. I think the only thing I would think... yeah, I don't even know. Like, maybe you guys could do like an aggressive Sojourn play. Maybe you guys could have your Sojourn shift across to here and give her armor pack and Harmony Orb and just pray that she survives with her ult. You guys see what I'm saying? And pocket her from here. Maybe that's something to consider. Outside of that, I don't know. I really don't know. There isn't an option. Okay. What are you guys seeing?
My Brig is split from my Zen.
Yeah. What else are you guys seeing? By the way, could Brig ever split from Zen?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Is now an okay time to split from Zen?
No.
Why not?
Because our Sojourn can just go. I think their Sojourn could just go aggro with Kiri and just kill Zen.
Really?
Or just.
Okay. True. That theoretically could be the play. Yeah. You have the right idea. If there's anything that can go aggressively on Zen, then the answer is no. But I could also see a world where, you know, our Mad Dog is calling Tracer on me, and then that tells Kuda that, hey, I can leave my Zen for a second, you know? Maybe the Sojourn could dive, yeah, but there is some logic potentially in there, right? But that's not my major problem here. What's the more important issue here? Look at our levels of aggression.
Yeah, everyone's looking at John right now.
Yep.
Your team's rotating.
Right. So I could break this down as ball tracer not being synced, right? But there's an even more important break, right? Where is that?
I mean, we can't like even take a fight right now because I mean I'm not really set up very well, and our DPS is completely out of the fight.
Right. I mean, look at the level of aggression between a tracer and a Sojourn. That alone is a huge red flag. Not to mention our Zen, not to mention our ball. You guys kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the angles are great here. I mean, this is like textbook taking off angles. It's just we're not really, our Zen and Sojourn aren't doing anything. Yeah, even our ball is like still. So like this is where we get Kiriko headshots. This is where we get Kiriko headshots. This is where we get recalls forced. You know what I'm saying? This is where we get our ball poked down to half HP before the fight even starts. Like right now, it's like this is okay theoretically, but to be honest with you, John, you're only winning this because you're just a better tracer. You know, you're not winning this. Like we want you to win this because you're a better tracer and because you had a teeny bit of team help. Like that tracer had way more help than you did, and you still won it. You're a superhero, but you shouldn't have to be. How about you be a superhero in the Justice League? You know what I'm saying? Besides a superhero by yourself, you know. That was probably one of the corniest analogies I've probably ever done.
It makes sense, though. It makes sense.
Okay, this is good, though. This slime is really good. You know, Zen, Sojourn, bang. And then there's the Sojourn. Oh, yeah, this is brilliant. Oh, no. Oh, that's okay. We still win. Oh! Get rolled. You're getting outskilled so frequently.
Sojourn, by the way. One-shot headshot. That's crazy.
Does this guy ever stop crying or like?
No,
that's my issue.
This is just my
issue. That's you know what? That's the bad dog mentality. If I die, it's not a skill issue.
Exactly.
It's just game broken, I guess. Lazy devs, I guess.
Listen, Spilo. Listen, Spilo.
I've been listening.
Everyone, listen. A broken clock is right twice a day. Anyone can get lucky and hit a headshot.
For a second, I thought you were about to call yourself a broken clock, and I was about to wholeheartedly agree. I was about to wholeheartedly agree. All right. Here's what we'll do. Let's look over one more team fight. Do you guys want to look over one more team fight from a different map or from this one on a different point?
Different map.
Ryan here, or a different map entirely?
Yeah, Ryan would be.
All right. So, all right, Ali, are you here?
Yeah.
Why was it like sweet? Ali, it's hard to make up your bed, you know? Like, let's go, do your homework, you know? Oh, geez. Just felt the soul leave her body. Okay, Ali, Coach Ali. All right, I'm really trying to not be patronizing here. I'm just trying to show you that you actually have a better idea of what you're talking about than you think you do, okay? All right, I'm also using it as a punching dummy so everyone else can learn from you. You know, I can yell at you and everyone's like, oh yeah, you know. They don't have to look stupid, you have to look stupid. Okay, so matchup time. Everything that we talked about with the Briggs Zen matchup, what was the #1 takeaway from the previous round? You tell me. What that we need to do better.
That we need to do better. Mm-hmm. Just being on the same page and
with what? That's very vague.
Like angles and making sure we're set up in the correct place.
Yeah. And then that Mad Dog, no dumb dog, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Let
me ask you a question. Does that apply here as well?
Yeah, guess it can.
Yeah. Okay. Don't guess. State confidently.
Yes, it can.
It can. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Okay. So then, how does it look? Like if you had an optimal engage with this comp, like heck, even in the mirror here, how would it look? What's it looking like? What's your character doing? What's your Lucy doing? What's your Ryan doing? What's your Junkrat doing? What's your Sojourn doing? Every single, break them all down. What are their roles?
I guess we're gonna amp in if we have it.
Sure. Or just
Ryan's gonna go in.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Our Sojourn's gonna take an angle.
Yep.
Our Kiriko is gonna be close behind, and
Yeah.
and Junkrat's gonna be shooting at them.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Why is your Sojourn taking an angle and your Junkrat not taking an angle?
I guess Junkrat can take an angle.
But why would your gut told you to say Sojourn take an angle over Junkrat, right? So why is that? Why does your gut say Junkrat or Sojourn over Junkrat? Interpret your instincts. Because your instincts are right.
Yeah. I guess like Sojourn can take an off angle because just her abilities.
What about her abilities?
Her E and she can quickly get back to her team.
Yes, that's it right there.
Okay.
Think about it with Tracer, right? Why is we have a Tracer in her backline? Because you can't get rid of her. She can take any position she wants. Compare Sojourn to Cassidy, right? Their Cassidy wants to take angles, but every single time he gets too aggressively, he could get punished. Your Sojourn gets punished less because she has shift. Yes, your instincts are right. And the reason why I'm forcing you to interpret those is sometimes our instincts and our gameplay don't always line up. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we do things that we shouldn't, and we should go back and go, oh, you see, I should have done that. I should know better, right? And that's what we're trying to solve here. So yeah, exactly. Your setup for a neutral fight is perfect. So all we have to do is we have to look at this fight and be like, are we taking this fight like Ali said we should? And if we're not, then we're probably going to lose. And if we do, we're probably going to win. Now there's micro things about how, your Junkrat positioning, did we mess up Susie? Did we, micro, right? But from a macro perspective, that's what we want. So let's find out. So far, so good, right? Now, where Junkrat's taking an angle. What are the advantages and disadvantages of Junkrat doing this? You tell me, Ali.
He can, I don't know, just shoot them from the side. And they can either decide to go after Reinhardt or go after Junkrat.
Right. What are the advantages of shooting them from the side besides splitting their attention? What can he shoot from here?
The shield.
Right. Couldn't he just shoot that from main behind Ryan?
Yeah.
So why would go here?
Because he has a better view of it.
Better view of shield? No way.
No, of the team fight as a whole, I guess.
Okay, so you're saying better vision of what to shoot. Yeah, exactly. That's a great advantage of an angle. You have just better vision. Okay, what else is an advantage of this position? Watch this. What do you see? Yeah? Okay, now what do you see? Do you see what this is?
We can't see anything right now.
Oh, you can't see anything?
No.
I can see.
Okay. Can you see now?
Yeah.
No. Wait, what am I supposed to be looking at? Is mine frozen?
We can see
Wait.
the game, but no drawing.
Yeah, if you're drawing.
Oh, I'm not drawing. I'm moving my camera. It's a interpretive art. Okay, you guys just have to imagine a drawing. Okay. Except I'm not dancing. Okay, so here's what we've got. Okay. You guys see shield? Yes. Do you see the gap?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me, what can Junkrat benefit from being on an off angle?
He's able to shoot behind the shield. Right. Whereas if he was with his team, it would just be shooting right at the shield and that's it.
Now, he's isolated. He could get picked off. He can't get healing from here. But he has a more direct backline access, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Do we actually leverage that? Hey, looky there. Our team has better off-angle control, coincidentally. Obviously, I don't know what happened, but we did do exactly what you said, Ellie. So maybe we win. Maybe we win. Uh-oh. Looks good.
Did it freeze again?
Froze for me.
Yeah. Look at us. More, It's frozen again?
Yeah, it's frozen.
It's frozen again, bro.
We're crying out loud. Okay, what about now?
Comcast.
Yeah, it's still frozen.
Do you not have
I
Discord
can see
Nitro,
it
bro?
perfectly fine.
See,
What?
yeah.
How?
Y'all are Comcast. Sit down, peasants.
Okay, yeah. Are you seeing it now?
I can see it.
I'm
Yeah.
just getting gaslit. What's going on? All right, you guys. Okay. All
I
right.
still can't say anything.
All right, plot twist. You guys still can't see anything.
No. John,
We can. John can.
If you
John
can't
can.
All right,
disconnect
listen.
it,
John
like-
can't see anything. Period. Apparently, so it doesn't really matter anyway.
Facts.
All right, this guy's rage quitting again. Fine. All right. All
I'm
I'm watching.
reconnecting to the call.
All right. John, you trapped a bunch of people. Nice job. All right. No complaints. You guys took good off angles. I don't want to break down micro too much. I mean, obviously, if you're going to take an off angle as Junk, you really need to go for the concussive combo, you know? Like, they need to be hitting through the shield. Otherwise, you're cooked. But, yeah. Outside of that, you're okay. Now. I'm going to speak interpretively.
I'm not there.
Yeah. So, what's the solution? Besides my passive-aggressive implications, what's the solution?
Play slow.
What
Wait
does
till I
that?
get
What does
back.
that mean? Ali defined playing fast. You define playing slow.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay.
Yeah.
So playing slow. You're gonna try to stabilize, and then fall back if you need to.
Right.
If they start being aggro.
So you're saying playing slow quite literally, not in terms of the pressure cycle like Ali was talking about. You just mean, guys, back up, chill. That's it, right?
You want to give a little bit of space,
Right.
but not too much space.
Right. How about just here? You know, maybe put a
Yeah,
resources supporting your Sojourn. Ryan just chills. Yeah, seems good to me. This is respectfully really stupid. Because even if we don't die here, we're gonna always lose the resource trade here. Always. We're gonna lose HP, we're gonna lose cooldowns. But we can't possibly, it's a 5v4. Unless your Sojourn hits a rail, this isn't gonna go well. I mean, look. Ah! Right? This is what happens. Look at her HP. Look at the Suzu. Right? It's not that deep. Your positioning was even good, but it didn't matter because you were playing one man down. That was the strategy. You were baiting him. You were feigning injury. You guys were pretending to be brain dead so that they'd walk forward. Yeah.
I'm so glad you get us, Philo.
Yeah, it's fine. I've worked with a lot of really smart teams before.
My goat.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's weird. Somehow it didn't translate into kills. That's bizarre. I wonder why. My Junkrat had such a good off angle too. You know what? I'm so glad that he utilized Kiriko ult because that was clutch right there. The enhanced cooldown acceleration really led to a lot of kills there. You guys are the equivalent of like the silver team stacking behind a BAP window and be like, guys, it does double damage. It can shoot through walls, right? I'm telling y'all, off angles matter. You guys have to listen. I'm being a little bit facetious. Obviously, Kiriko ult's freaking strong. So much so that oftentimes just leaving off angles is totally fine. But you guys can see how like it didn't lead to anything. So you need to find a balance there. I think it's probably okay for maybe Sojourn, Ryan, Kiriko, and then maybe a Lucio Junkrat hit squad here. You know, something like that. Like imagine a Lucio Junkrat hit squad right here with a conk. You know what I'm saying? The blown the kingdom come. You know. So obviously it's very hindsighty. It's very easy for me to say that going back and watching it. You could have also just hit the concussive mine there and it not been Suzu and they would have like died, but just something to consider. Okay. Big problem though is shockingly timing. Oh, I can smell it. Oh, please. Oh, please. I just know. I can smell it. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. As soon as they go Kiriko, I could smell it in Alden's body language right about here. And it wasn't the lack of deodorant. It was the shatter. So right here, you just knew it. You know what I'm saying? You knew it. You know it? You knew it. You knew it. You knew it. Did we have Kiriko, guys? Push, push, push. I think this is going to work. Yes. Oh no, no, Alden, please. No. No!
Oh.
Oh, no. It's okay. We can maybe win this.
Tragic.
Ah, tragic. Okay. Big one there is just, I think it's like the shadow is fine. Just everything comes back to like playing the team fight properly, setting up your off angles, making sure that you got actually 5 men there. And I want to say one other thing as well. If we want to talk about Mad Dog here, what's Mad Dog calling right now?
I'm on a flank.
Okay.
He's hard flanking.
What about okay, what is Alden here? Not a Mad Dog. A rat? That doesn't have
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the rabid rat.
Yes.
The rabid rat, okay? The rabid rodent, okay? What's the rabid rodent calling right now? Fatty Shaddy! It's coming, y'all! Because, like, you know this one's coming. This isn't even a reactive one. You know it. You know exactly it's coming, like, even 5 seconds in advance, because they're going to push. So then what's our body language, right?
They
you know?
be ready to follow up on
get ready, get ready, get ready. Uh-oh.
I was ready. I was ready.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This fight's probably pretty much lost. You guys got a support ult differential. It's a little bit concerning. But, by the way, I don't really know if that's really, like, our Lucio's fault at all. It's probably more to do with the fact that we used our Kiriko ult and didn't do jack squat with it. That being said, something to consider. Okay, let's watch one more fight, and then I'm going to pass out. I'm impressed, by the way. You guys have done an almost 2-hour team VOD review.
A lot of fun, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
I would not recommend repeating this venture. But I'm glad you guys are having fun.
Unless we had money, you wouldn't recommend it.
Right. If you had money, then I would recommend nothing but.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's talk about this. Allie, let out your mournful sigh, and then yeah, that was good. Then tell me, how do you guys win this team fight? Make the Overwatch League ult plan. You've set the expectations really high now, so anything that's less than perfect is gonna be really disappointing.
Oh, okay. Well, I know we're going to use Tire, and we're going to initiate the fight off of that. See if we can get any picks.
Then what are they gonna do?
They're gonna use their Kriegel, and if they get Tire, they're gonna look to use that as well.
So look at the ults. So you're literally just reading off the ults and you're giving me no information. How do we win this fight? How do we win? What do we do? Simple as you can.
Play off of Tire.
Okay.
And if it if it gets a kill, then we can push in.
Okay. What if it doesn't? Right? What if it doesn't get a kill? What do we do? What if they use their Suzu?
Then we will still push in.
Why?
Hopefully.
With what?
Man,
Think, Allie. Look at the cues. Look at the abilities. We just forced Suzu with Tire. What do we do?
We push in off Suzu.
Ah, yes.
They don't have it?
Yes. What else do we have that they don't have? How did we lose last fight?
We used Suzu.
Well, no.
And they. Oh,
well, yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, yes. You're right. But what ult did they have that we didn't have that we have now that they don't have?
Beat?
Yes. So how do we do it? What do we do?
Aggressive beat?
Okay. We can rip Tire. If that doesn't win us the fight, then we beat. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do we not sit on beat? Why do we use it? If we have an opportunity to, or we need to use it, right? What does beat counter?
Creel?
No.
Castle?
No.
I'm sorry.
Not consistently. Not consistently, right? I
mean, Rip Tire.
It can.
Rip Tire?
Right. No, it doesn't. It doesn't consistently, though, does it?
No.
You guys see my point?
Yeah.
Use the beat. Win the fight. That's all.
Yeah.
So Rip Tire is good. It is the one I would use first. 100%. You guys are making the right decision here. But don't hesitate to use beat if you need to. It's that simple. Use the beat. So let's see what happens. Push! Push! Why is my Lucio on the flank?
What are you doing, Jake?
Yeah, where the hell are you?
Okay. This is sort of like I don't even know, to be honest.
This is what?
You know what?
I was getting creative. You know what? I was getting creative.
Okay.
Yo, he was doing a Reddit Lucio course.
I think you saw that my one stress testing video and took it literally. Okay, this is This is problematic because what do we want to be doing with a Riptire, y'all?
Pushing in.
Walk, like set it up. Like this is the same problem as the previous Briggs. It's the same problem, just dressed up. It's push in, guys. What do you expect? What you guys are like? All right, Riptire, kill somebody, please. While we're sitting here just chilling. No, push in. Like I get it. It's technically 4v5, but you guys know what? You guys know that's not really the case. There's no way it should work. I'm just so disappointed. All right, go to point. Set up off angles. We don't need to beat.
Oh, they're tired.
Oh my gosh, Kuda.
The Kuda player himself, dude. Oh my, no, you didn't. Jesus.
One time it works.
Dude. Bro, you could not have called it closer than that.
Oh my.
Wow.
He is one with the tire.
He's winning it.
I am not gonna lie. That's about the stupidest thing I think I've ever seen north of the
He tried to pull a Mad Dog.
He tried to pull a Mad Dog, yeah, okay. Oh my days. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I mean, you guys see the issue there. Like, obviously it's fine to beat that, but it's got to be earlier often, or just play back and just trust that you're going to shoot it, because it's probably wasted, to be honest with you. I think you guys probably are fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. Allie.
What's up?
Hi.
How do we win the next fight? And this is where you're going to have to think in the future, because at the moment we have nothing. And heck, they only have Castiel, I guess, but what are they going to do? And what should we do about it? Think about it. Look at our ults. Look at the enemy ults. And you tell me. And again, by the way, I'm setting up Allie here, but this should be, not like listening time or checking phone time. This should be, I'm also thinking about what I would do. And then if I disagree, then I actually have the audacity to say that I disagree, and then elaborate, and then we come to a decision. You guys see what I'm saying? Like, team fight planning is like a team process. Having a shot caller do it is great, but like, it needs to be a team process. So, Allie, you're the vocal one. What do we do?
So they're really only going to have castle, so they could try and push in off of that.
Yep.
And
so what do we do?
We could give them a little bit of space and like cover.
Yep.
And we're going to have gate soon.
Yep.
So once like they're done with castle, and we could use gate because they're not going to have any ults.
Right. So then if that's the ult plan, how do we set up? Because our positioning is dictated by the plan, not the other way around.
I mean, if we're expecting it, like ult calling or ult tracking, or Ryan could be playing a little bit more back, maybe.
Yeah, or at the very least playing forward, but with the anticipation that I'm gonna just basically bait it and then fall back. Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then I mean, even our DPS positions, right? Like, we don't want our Junkrat super aggressive either. Maybe our Soldier needs to consider positions. Yeah, that's it exactly. Okay, so let's see what happens. Well,
okay.
That'll work, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys, I want this to be. Again, we're introducing the Mad Dog mentality. If Junkrat goes in the flank here and says, you know what, screw the ult plan, I see a great off angle, or if my Reinhardt goes Mad Dog mentality, or Kuda goes Mad Dog mentality and goes on the flank, listen, y'all, like, we could break the rules, y'all. We could break the rules all south of Sunday. Like, we could do whatever we want, but just as long as we're communicating it, it's totally fine. So I want to instill in you guys like a sense of balance. Like, we want to play around our ult plan, like around our plan. Like, what are we trying to do with the comp? What are we trying to do with the ult plan? But then also knowing that the number one priority is always to be flexible and listen to each other. So if we decide to break the rules, that we do so with confidence. And that's not just something that you guys can get away with because, you're scrimming 4K teams, ha ha ha. That's something that you can get away with whether you're in Overwatch League or not. And trust me on this, guys. Trust me on this. You can break the rules. If you see an opportunity, if you see a way to cheat, do it. Okay. Do you guys have any questions?
You want to go for a sec?
No.
Well, mine's an off-topic question, but
no, I don't use any conditioner. No, I don't know how it happened.
Really? Okay, so no, my question is, so when you're saying like Mad Dog, are you spelling Mad Dog like D-O-G or is it D-A-W-G?
No, the D-A-W-G is like 90s, you know what I'm saying? I might be a '90s kid, but I'm not that cringe. So it's mad DOG. Yeah.
Okay.
But that way it's really easy to like abbreviate it to just dog if you're just bad. You know what I'm saying? There's no misinterpretation at like, yo, you're my dog. No, you're just a dog if you do it wrong. You understand?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
We had to be really clear on that point. All right. Any other questions, y'all? If that's the only question, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
I don't really have questions.
Okay. Guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say what you want to say first.
No, I haven't got nothing to say. I was probably gonna say something stupid.
Okay. So when it comes to, so the main things just to take away from this, for me personally, so it's just no tilting. Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. That is meaningless, right? What are you gonna do to fix your tilt? Tomorrow, this week, you're gonna research it. You're gonna go do some YouTube. You're gonna do some Google research. What are psychologists how to deal with tilt? How to deal with frustration? You're gonna go look.
My dumb idea was just gonna be don't tilt.
Well, that's a dumb idea, ain't it?
Yeah.
So,
but
like, you know, take some ownership of it, right? Figure something out. There's people who have worked through it. I've worked through it. Go figure it out.
How did you figure out? You figure it out?
Here's what I did. It took me a lot of conscious effort, right? I had to, one thing that really, really helped me with my tilt was being, and this is something that I've shared with a lot of players, but it's because it's what worked for me, was being like really, really, really specific with what I was working on. So then even if something was like going really badly, I knew that I was still getting like good practice at something specific. So for me, it was like when I was on the ranked grind, when I was climbing the Grandmaster way back in the day, whenever I like was really focused on like one specific aspect of my play, then even if it felt like I was like playing like really badly or like I was getting my butt kicked, I felt like it wasn't like bad practice because I was still able to feel like I was practicing something. Now that may or may not work for you because you're not necessarily somebody, you're more instinctual with your play, right? You're not as like, I needed like a checklist, and I always felt good if I had my checklist of things to work on and I was doing it and I could, you know, I was very like check mark, do this, do that, structured kind of practice guy, but you're not like that. So that might not work for you. You might be the guy that needs the deep breaths. You know what I'm saying? You might be the guy that needs to go like take some heat off and like go punch like some holes in some drywall or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But that you need to find that out because dealing with frustration or rejection or anger is like, that's a life skill, you know? Anyway.
Okay. And then, one like actual question about like the like timing and stuff. So for timing, specifically on like ball tracer, is it like okay if like the tracer calls in like when to dive or whatever?
Yep, totally fine. Very flexible. I mean, it could even be your Zen calling it if he knows that your ball tracer are ready. It's totally up to the team. I think when it comes to like the specifics of who's calling what, there are no rules. It's whatever your team wants to do, whatever works best for your team. It could be your ball one fight, tracer next fight. It could be Zen. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, because for me, sometimes I'll be just like waiting for Alden to go in or whatever. But like again, I see an opportunity where that like this person's distracted and all this and that, and usually I don't make the call.
Bark.
So
you know.
Bark. Okay, I will bark.
But that's the idea. Like if you see an opportunity, call it. Even if your ball is not ready yet, I'm sure that Alden would prefer to not be quite ready and be called in than for him to be ready and you're already dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, one step at a time, you know. Go ahead, Zach.
I just have really quick things because you've gone way over and I want you to be able to go to bed. But okay, very, very stupid question, but I've asked like multiple pros and no one knows this. It's not important, but like Kiriko, Sojourn, Junker Queen, like when are Alskins going to come out for them? Like there's nothing for new heroes. And I thought that was going to happen last season and it just didn't. So, do you have any idea?
When you could tell me when the Overwatch League replay viewer will be available for public again?
That was my next question. I've
got no idea, mate. Here's what I'll tell you though. I had a couple of contenders teams already reach out to me and ask for help, and I was like, haha, no, sorry. But I'm gonna be helping a few of them probably out just so I can stay in like occasionally, you know. Which means I'll probably have an OPR account, which means I'll probably be doing a lot of like OWL replay stuff on stream. So if there's anything that you have a really, really like you're literally dying for, I'll bump your request to the top of the list.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Outside of that, I have no idea. It tilts me too.
Okay, last question. Since you seem to be quite good in this category, okay, if you were in a situation, Spylo.
We're talking about talking with females or like doing push-ups or what?
Yes. Yeah. No. Female Spylo.
Oh
my god. Okay. So I'm an old friend of mine. Okay.
No.
And she's getting cheated on.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to riz her up so she gets out of said situation. How do I approach?
So you're trying to raise her up?
Riz. You know, you gotta bring some riz in.
Oh, she's being cheated on?
Yeah.
Is she aware of this?
Yeah, he told her.
Oh my gosh. So is she just whipped and too scared to leave the relationship?
Yeah, probably. Pretty much.
Okay. I think the best thing that you could do is be really, really supportive in that situation. Be like a really, really supportive friend. Be honest with her. Don't try and be like, oh, it's okay, you know, just be really, really, you need to like do two things at the same time. You need to tell her straight to her face that this guy is a jerk and is taking advantage of her, and she really should not be wasting her time. She's way better than this. It's a really, really terrible situation. But then also be at the same time super, super supportive so that she doesn't feel like, oh, you're gonna be mad at her if she doesn't have the guts to be able to do it right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like she needs to be able to like count on you to be like a good, nice, supportive friend, even if she's not always making the right choice with this. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the worst thing for her would be like, oh, I'm like feel really pressured and feel really miserable no matter what I do. You know what I'm saying?
What if I were to say I ripped into her boyfriend and now she's not talking to me at the moment?
Right. See,
what would you do in that scenario?
But you see, that's your that's your mistake. That's an ego move. That's an ego move. You felt righteous indignation, and so you were thinking more about yourself and less about her. Because do you think that's what she would have wanted? Do you think that's what was best for her at that point in time? Probably not.
No.
That guy doesn't deserve the time of day. That guy deserves to have his tail lashed, right? But that's not what she needed. And so that was your mistake, right? So what I would do is I'd go and I'd reach out to her and I'd apologize and be like, hey, listen, that wasn't really my place to do that. You know, I don't want that to compromise our friendship. I apologize. I really don't apologize for my feelings towards him, but I went about it totally the wrong way and was not considerate of your feelings. You see what I'm saying?
Well, you're a life coach, you know that?
Well, I'm an old dude, so I should have a little bit of
experience with that. You were in your 20s, homie.
Yeah. But I'm at the later end, the top half of the 20s now. So
the top half of the 20s.
Yeah. True story. This weekend I was at a football clinic, and I was expecting. I reached out to the guy. I was like, listen, I'm doing like it's like a receiver clinic, right? I do a lot of travel football along like East Coast stuff, tournaments and stuff.
That's awesome.
Anyway, yeah, sick. But anyway, I messaged the guy who runs them, like, listen, I'm like 28 years old. It's not gonna be weird or anything, right? This is not just like a bunch of kids. It's like, no, man, it's coming on, you know, whatever. Well, I'm thinking like, you know, we'll get some high school kids, get some college guys, you know. Bro, there's a 10-year-old there. There's a 10-year-old there. The average age was like 14, man. 14.
Oh my god.
I got guys coming up to me like, you know, like, what high school do you play for? You know, I look pretty young from age, which definitely helped, but bro, it was super, super awkward. I'm not gonna lie. It was fun, but it was hilarious. There's like these literally 11-year-old kids running around to me. I'm like, oh man, what am I doing?
What was your base for MMA? Because I saw that you used to be a head instructor.
Yeah. So I actually had literally zero base in MMA. I was a big karate skeptical guy. Like I thought MMA, like I didn't know jack about MMA. I just thought, you know, people who did martial arts were like not like weirdos, you know? Because I grew up with like the whole like people doing karate and judo, and I was like, bro, I'm a scrawny little kid and I can still beat you up. You don't know jack. So anyway, my wife was doing MMA, and I was like, oh, she's actually like, I like was watching her do stuff, and I was like, whoa, this actually looks like what they do in like the MMA stuff, UFC, you know, they're actually like doing like real stuff, you know. And so like it was like a children's and adult studio. It wasn't like super, super intense training fighters, but it was like actual self-defense, BJJ, Muay Thai, boxing, you know, just the usual stuff. And I got my finance degree and like started assisting down at the gym, just like taking classes and helping out with like some of like the lobby stuff, the program direction, just like the basic management stuff. And then I was like, bro, this rocks, bro. I loved grappling. I loved striking.
Yeah.
I was like, this is actually amazing. So then I got like I finished my finance degree, and I just decided to just straight up not go into finance and teach instead. So I taught there for like 5 or 6 years. And then we ended up opening up a sister location, like 20 miles north. And, oh my days, I'm going deaf. Zach, your mic is screwed. Okay, Oh, Zach is still screwed as we do.
God, I'm Welch.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay. Wait, what?
What? Damn. What was that?
Is there like a bomb threat in the
We just got ambushed by a bunch of guys dorms. From another dorm, bro. College thing.
My board. Oh, I missed it.